Hello, my name is Ben Alexander and I have autism. Who cares about what people think? And I think in our society, we get wrapped up into what people think. And I am guilty of this myself because I'm a people pleaser and want to please everybody. But there are just some things that no matter what you do, you just cannot please people. You're always going to have haters. I mean, I'm sure there are people that don't like my content. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. And I know they'll exist eventually. Because I can't please everybody. And it's unfortunate, yes. But reality is you can't please everybody. Your style, your thinking, your ideas might trigger somebody to be like, I don't want to be around this person. It's fine. I mean, it is what it is. It happens. Difference of thought and opinion happens all the time. Yeah, it's just one of those things that you gotta be very vigilant and you gotta be committed onto what you want in life. Not let others dictate the way you think and the way you act in your decision making process. And of course, you have the right to go ask for advice. But if their advice isn't good or is leading you down to a bad path, aka not being good advice, you just say, look, I appreciate your advice, but this advice is going to lead me down to the road, bad path, and label X because of X, Y, Z reason. Whatever that reason may be. And they may respect it and be like, oh, I'm wrong. I apologize. I didn't see it all the way through. Or they might not be in denial and say, well, that's not how I experience things. And, and again, they do things based off of their personal experience instead of your own. We're all different humans. And again, the other person's probably trying to help for the most part. And I hope most people want to help others. I truly believe that. And I know there's a lot of people that struggle to ask for help like myself because it's like, man, could this person really hurt? Could this person's advice really hurt me and really lead me down the bad path? Or I'll admit, I do have trust issues. It's hard for me to trust people. And I know you're all the same as well. Been wounded with bad advice. Have been tormented by my own decisions and the decisions of others that directly affect me. That's life, man. That is life. And how do you get past it? I think you have to have a purpose in life. I think you have to realize that life's more about serving others than yourself. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It really is. But if you can find ways to impact the earth positively and being a light for others, I think that's the best form of making a difference on this planet. It doesn't matter what you want to do. It's like you could have a YouTube channel that spreads positivity, not hate. There's just so many things you could do. You could serve at your local soup kitchen, serve at a homeless shelter. You could think of a lot of things that you could do that's community service. Holding the door up for a person, giving somebody a compliment. I mean, there's just so many things you could do to be nice to other people. And I think we tend to move away from that because of the hurt and pain that other people have presented us, and we tend to not want to give back because of that pain. And I get it. It's completely hard, but I think eventually you're going to have to say, you know what? These people are going to be filled with even more pain if I come back with hate. At that point, we've been fighting hate for so long, it seems like. And it's not working. It's not working. So The only other solution is let's go to complete opposite hate, and that's love, showing people love. Because I think there's a wide gap, and there's a lot of people that don't even understand what love is. Love is about compassion and care for the person is so much that you never, ever, ever want to see them at their worst. You always want to see them at your best. Even though life can kind of get in the way, and there's some things you can control and you can't control. It's one of those things where it's like you want to make sure that your loved one can control what they can control in life, which is treat others with respect, treat yourself with respect, and take care of the environment and the planet. I think if we all did 3 of those things, I think we'd be in a lot better place as a society. But at the end of the day, that's what you need to be striving for, is to not care what others think. Yes, you want to care about others, you want to care for others, but not necessarily caring about what they think and having them put you in a box of, oh, this is your life, this is your purpose. Oh, if you go outside this box, you're a loser, And it's like, no, like, trust me, it's going to work out eventually. Even if it takes me 10 years, I'll be laughing at you. Well, it kind of seems a little rude, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like, told you so, that type of thing. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Yeah, it's just kind of hard. Obviously, got some career decisions to come up. I did accept a job at a warehouse. I'm continuing to kind of work on that and get settled into the job just to see if they like me and if I like them, see if we can coexist with each other, because that's basically what the 90-day probationary period is. It's for the employer and me to kind of decide what to do now. But again, like I said, I plan on staying at the warehouse for a while. For sure. I want to be able to serve them and do the absolute best and trying to learn the job so I can serve the people at my warehouse and trying to be the best employee that I can be. Even though they may look at me and say, well, this guy's kind of socially awkward, because that's part of my autism. It's like I'm very socially awkward, and I think autism does have a part of it. But I gotta say, it's like, look, I'm trying my best. I am literally trying to help others. Like I said, if I can do things in silent, am I more of a doer type of thing? I'm definitely more of a doer instead of a talker, even though it's like I'm talking to you on the internet, of course. But, it's like I really want to do stuff. I don't want to just talk the talk. I want to walk the walk, That's definitely a thing I've been trying to strive for. And it's hard. It's very difficult to walk the walk. It's easier to talk all day long. It's easy for me to just sit here and talk about things we should do on the internet. Super easy. Anybody can do it. And anybody can do it in real life. You don't even have to have a camera. You can do it in real life, off camera, all that stuff. But at the same time, you're not really walking the walk if you're being mean to everybody and you're just kind of being a butthole to everybody. It's like, that's not walking the walk, obviously. And I get it. Some days are bad. Some days you have rough days. Some days you have some traumatic situations that cause these reactions, and there's real humanness elements to everything we do in this life, and everybody has triggers. Every single person has a trigger, and it just is what it is. It's just part of life, and we all struggle with certain things, and we all some of us tend to ignore it. And again, it's kind of me at some days, where I just want to ignore my problems and make them go away by just ignoring it. Turns out that's not how it works. If you ignore the problem, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse until eventually it breaks down and then it goes away, you know, because like I said, if you're struggling for something for years and years, you're probably going to eventually find a way to get out of it. But again, it's much quicker if you just say, hey, look, I'm going to stop this now before it gets too bad. And again, maybe sometimes people don't get out of these problems, and you've kind of ruined for life type of thing. That's very possible too. But again, it's completely possible to change your trajectory of your life. You know, I was unemployed about a week or two ago, and now I have a job. Things like that can change like that. You know, things can happen. And I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out what's next in my life. And by the way, this month of June, I've been doing the Ben Has Autism YouTube channel for about a year already. I can't believe it's been a year. Yeah, it's been a year's worth of work. A lot of hard work I put into this channel. I've been pretty vulnerable with you guys. And I think it's been a good positive thing for me. And I hope to continue to do this until I die. I plan on continuing to post 2 videos a week till I die. That's what I'm hoping to do. If people find it interesting, great. I'd love it. But if they don't, oh well, I'll pivot to something else. It's kind of what I've been saying along, where it's like, yes, I'd love to monetize YouTube. Yes, I'd love to be a big influencer that gets brand deals. You know, I can make it into a good career. I'd love that. But if it doesn't happen, it is what it is. Not the end of the world. Real life happens. I 100% get it. I really, really do. Because life sometimes sucks. Life can be good, life can suck also. It can be both at the same time. But I do think you gotta look more on the positive side, and the thing that I struggle with, and I know a lot of you struggle with, is like, you just look at the suck part. This sucks, while you're ignoring all the things that are good in your life. Like example, I got a roof over my head, I got food, I got water, I got a job. You know, all those things that I take for granted because of the negative stuff. And the negative mindset really kills you. And I think that's the number one thing that a lot of people try to project their negativity on the people, and it ends up turning them into a negative person because of negative experiences. And we all need to watch out and make sure our negative experiences don't hinder another person's growth. And I think it's easier said than done, obviously, but I think if we were going to focus on that, I think we'd be better. And obviously discernment and self-reflection is going to help a lot too in deciding whether this person's advice is good or not. Obviously, if you're religious, you can pray to God, just things like that, you know. There's plenty of resources out there. You know, there's counseling. I mean, there are lots of ways you could figure out how to reflect yourself and learn more about yourself. And it's just living every day and just internalizing everything and knowing what's going on in your head. And it is exhausting, I'll give you that. It's very exhausting, but it also keeps you honest, and it's also a great way to self-reflect and make changes you need to make in your life. And that's why you really shouldn't care what people really think. As long as you do some self-reflecting upon their advice. And if you conclude that they're right and you need to make these changes, you should make those changes. But if you don't think they're right, just gotta say, look, it's my life. I'm in the driver's wheel. I make the decisions. It's like, sorry, I'll listen to your advice, but I think this advice is not the best for me because of X, Y, and Z. And just explain the reasons. And just being honest with the person if they ask and if they're on your butt about it. At the end of the day, don't let others destroy your dreams of what you want. For example, if you want to be a YouTuber, don't let anybody tell you you can't be a good YouTuber. If you want to be a professional athlete, don't let anybody tell you you can't be a professional athlete. Now, of course, I say this knowing that you should have a plan in case if it doesn't work out. But also that backup plan shouldn't cause you to forget your dream as well. I think it's good to have a backup plan in case if things don't go the way you think it would go, because life happens. And I'd say that's probably the biggest advice I'd give to anybody. And I think that's all I got to really say on this video. So what about you? Do you think my advice is solid? Did I miss anything? Is there anything you want to add? Please let me know in the comment section. And honestly, I really appreciate all the support and for you watching my videos to the end. I really do appreciate. And after a year of this, I'm really trying to find ways to make my videos better. You know, I'm not a professional videographer, but I do want to say that I will create honest content, and I want to have content that I can relate to people are going to relate to, and just have fun and do the things I want to do, because if I want to do it, you're going to want to watch it. That's kind of my philosophy. But again, like I said, I thank you for your support. Share this with a friend, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.